Okay, good afternoon, gents. Hope all is well. It is Friday, the 4th of August. Last day of the week again. The weeks are flying. So, let's see how we get on today. Now, as most of you know, I checked my email early hours of the morning UK time, and I noticed they'd given us another 90% off. So that's good news. So my code's down there, UKFT and 90, because we've got 90% off. So if you do use it, or you have used it, it's appreciated. So, Grog Daddy, good morning. David, good afternoon. Exponential, good day to you, mate. So I hope everyone's okay. We did have some news this morning, non-farm payroll, which really... which really didn't. When was it? 1:30. So it was around about here. So, oh yeah, okay, bit of a spike to 4. Is that right? Let's have a look at ATR. Oh, ATR is high. I'll have to keep an eye on that. ATR is pucker high, proper high at the moment. So let's get rid of that lag. Why are you not going? There we go. Yeah, just keep an eye on that. ATR's high at the moment. I do expect it to come down. Maybe because the bars just seemed a little bit bigger here, but they do seem to be getting a bit smaller now. So we'll keep an eye on that. So, how you doing, Breck? So, just letting you know, and I usually do. Sorry about the squeak in the background. That's my dog. Excuse me a sec. Wilson. Sorry about that. I did request a payment. I was going to get $2,000 out of a couple of accounts, but I decided to just get $1,000 out of 2 of my accounts because I don't want to drop them so low. So that'll give me $2,000 this month. We'll see towards the middle of the month, see how my accounts are looking. I may request another one. We'll see. But when they're cleared, I genuinely let you know. So all good. So where are we now? Hey, how you doing, pal? How you doing? So a little bit of congestion there. Yeah, so just keep an eye on that. The ATR is quite high, so your trades are a little bit riskier at the moment. But hopefully, when the market officially starts, things should hopefully slow down a bit. And that might drop. That's sort of double what it usually is lately. So it does mean your trades will get out a bit quicker, but the risk is a bit more. So what are we doing at the moment? Clearly ranging at the moment. We've had a bit of a looks like a bit of a channel that with a break at a new high. So let's just put that like that. Not that it really matters now, does it? But okay, so a clear channel there, leg, couple of legs up, the break at a new high. There's that bit of news, and we've dropped out the bottom, so I might drag this down a bit. Okay, let's leave that about there. So clearly ranging, no more news today. That's gone. So hopefully that starts to drop at some point. My bars look different. Now it's probably me. Let me just reload my historic data. That changes things up. Let's have a look. It is surprising how different they can be sometimes, but okay, I notice a bit of a difference on mine. So hopefully, bud, yours should look a bit more like mine now. But I don't quite know why it makes a difference. But I think it's good practice to do this. So just right click and click reload all historic data. Don't ask me why it makes a difference. I don't know. I was just told it a year or two ago. And that's what I do now, and things change. I don't quite understand why, but there's more stems within these, so I'm guessing things are a little bit different. ES Trader, how you doing, pal? How you doing? Yeah, good now. The move was all green. Yeah. I don't quite know how it makes a difference. I don't tend to worry too much about the details, just the fact that it does work. So as you know, 90% off. I didn't expect that, in all fairness. But what I will say, and I've said this before, because I'm an affiliate, now when the sales are on, a lot of people use my link, which means a lot of people are buying evaluations. Now, if it affects mine, it'll affect every other trader with an evaluation code, and obviously it'll affect Apex themselves. So when it goes on to half price resets, you don't sell many. When it goes on to 50% off, you sell hardly any at all. So Apex aren't going to be having people buying their evaluations unless they're at least 80% off. So I'm surprised we have a 90. But what Apex are clearly noticing, and I know this because obviously being an affiliate, and I know how many I sell, and if I'm selling them, Apex are selling them. So I'll be surprised if we don't always have at least the 80% on, but obviously the 90% make, surprisingly, that 10% doesn't seem like it makes a difference, but it's 50% cheaper than it is when it was 80%. It doesn't actually make much sense. That's strange enough, does it? You think an extra 10% wouldn't knock it down by 50%, but it does. So let's see how we get on today. So market is officially open. Hence that quick move. So NC failed my first evaluation. Will gladly use your code again. I appreciate that for efforts in sharing a trader journey. What I would say to you, a bit of advice. When you're learning and you're failing, just get one at a time. Don't buy multiple ones. Only buy multiple ones when you can hold PA accounts, because all you're going to be doing is, because if you're using a trade copy and using 5 of them, you take a bad trade and you just copy that 5 times. So my opinion is just do one evaluation at a time, try and pass it. And then once you can start holding PA accounts, then you can start growing. But it costs a lot of money to learn to trade. You're going to lose a lot of money. So my opinion is keep it to a minimum. So let's have a look. Okay, so this... there's clearly a little bit of sideways there, so I think it's likely with what I'm seeing, we're going to pop out and hit the top. Push up sideways, price is now above the EMA, so I'd say we're likely to come up here, depending on where you think the top is. Have I missed? Lee Brandt. Apex should be 90% all the time. In all honesty, mate, I won't be shocked if that ends up being the case. The trouble is they won't have any sort of special offers, so I wouldn't be surprised if they keep it permanently 80% and just now and again when we have, you know, offers or whatever, just take it up to 90%. But the thing is, if it's 90% instead of 80%, you're going to buy twice the amount, really, aren't you? So, okay, so let's see how this gets. You could argue, there is a top around about here. So, funnily enough, look, market's closed one step above there. You could call that a failed breakout. So I'm going to leave that there. In fact, no, I'm not. Let's put that to the highs and let's bring that in, because I'd say for me, one touch, 2, 3. It's probably somewhere along the lines of that, but I'm going to put that there because we class that as the highest it's been. So, highs, not quite. Let's just put a mark here for the lows of yesterday. Anybody watching that new series of From yet? I watched a couple of them last night. Pretty good, actually. I like all that weird, spooky shit. Okay, so yesterday's highs and lows are up there now. Rodian, how you doing, pal? LOL, just bought 5. Excellent, good for you, mate. So use your code. Lovely, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. It's much appreciated. It is nice and 90% off. I do love them. I have got one myself, actually, which I traded earlier. I traded on the news when that started to push down. I got it up to, let me have a look. I got it up to $2,233. The one I got earlier, when that was spiking up and down, and that dropped below there and pushed up twice. I dropped it in there somewhere and came out at the bottom. Somewhere around about here, I don't know, but I got it up to 2,233. So I'm just going to trade it normally 5 contracts and hopefully a couple of 3 trades. So, let's see what goes on today. If we continue to push higher here, just looking at the 10,000 tick chart, a lot of this is sort of size, but we've got a leg up, and this looks like it's forming another leg up. So I wouldn't be shocked if we ended up getting up here somewhere. There's a leg and a leg, so maybe we'll just stop here because there's almost a measured leg there, but it is possible if we continue higher. Leg, we may make another one up there, which is starting to look like that. Push up a little bit of sideways, almost like a bull flag, and then another leg, but we'll see. Normally I trade one at a time, but couldn't resist. Yeah, my honest opinion is if you can hold PA accounts, then I get doing multiple. But, you know, it's okay buying 2 or 3, trading one, then trading another one. You know, everyone's got their own opinion. But if someone's asking me what my advice is as a, you know, a trader who's been doing it maybe, I don't know, 6 months and wants to give it a whirl, I'd personally say just do one at a time. Because I hear so many people saying I've blown five evals today, and they say they've only been doing it a few months. So the trouble is with the trade copy is if you're blowing 1, you're blowing another 4 at the same time. So if you're bad trading 1, all you're doing is copying those bad trades over. I'm just going to get rid of that. It's going to confuse me. So we've bounced clearly at yesterday's high. So pretty much ranging yesterday. We did have some moves, but overall we opened and more or less just did some sideways stuff, but have you got 12 PAs? Oh, absolutely, yeah, multiple ones, all the way. Absolutely. 12, good for you, mate. That's nice, that is. Trying to get to 20, good for you. My target is to try and get to 20. I would say what I'm doing is getting 5, getting them to maybe $5,000 where I can take a payment off each other. So if I can get them to $5,000, I can take a $2,000 payment off each. And that will leave them at 3,000, and then I can continue trade for the next month and hopefully get another couple of thousand off each of them. And if I can do that, then I'll go for 10 accounts. That's the plan anyway. But when they are cheap like this, I did get myself another one. I'm still going to maybe add to them a bit, but while they're cheap, it's surprisingly the difference between 80 and 90% only sounds like a small amount, but it's actually half price. So yeah, I mean, if you've got them, can I trade Apex NT with my personal? I believe you can. I've not done it, but I believe you can. Someone else will tell you that. You can, but I'm not sure how to do it. I don't know whether it's as simple as, but I don't know whether you need to use your own code. I don't know. Someone else will tell you. Someone else will tell you. So what Dave's asking is, can you trade Apex accounts as well as your own accounts? I'm pretty sure you can. Sorry. Robin's asking, sorry. hoping to get up to 15p's by the end of August. Good on you, mate. I'm just going to aim for 10 by the end of the year, I'd say. I'll be quite happy with that. And then sort of build. I'll see how it works out. If I build them up pretty easy, but I can hold them now. I've got 2 coming up 40 days, so that's a couple of months, and that's the longest I've held them. So all good. You need 2 connections, then you can trade them at the same time. Okay. Yeah, it's something I've never done. I don't trust myself with my own money. At some point I may do, but for me, I'd rather use Apex's money because realistically, if it costs me, what is it, $140 for the month, the one-off fee, and I don't know, what is it, $16? $16 for the... It's only really $155. I'd rather pay that and then build up Apex's money and take it off them. So we have broken above here and we seem to be holding, so it is possible that we may end up having a channel at some point. It does look like a spike, so there is a possibility of a channel. I'd certainly like to see... it's a bit early really to get something out, but if it comes back here and bounces, it may do, but I'd like to see another leg up. We have been up here before. In fact, the all-time highs are up here. Well, the highs of the last 18 months or so are up here. It's along there. I think that's it. That's as highest it's been for a year and a half, maybe a little bit longer. So we had that bit of negative news. The credit rating dropped a fraction, and that's brought it down a bit, and now it's gone a bit sideways. And if you look, we seem to bottom out there. We've had a leg up there and maybe a couple of legs back, come back. So there is a possibility we could get some up stuff. I don't know, but that's pure speculation. But the way this is breaking above here, I think is a good sign. So, it'd be nice to get a trend. It does, mate. I'm just going to get rid of that for a minute. So let's probably go with that for now. So that looks kind of nice. Touched here, touched here, touched here. Fits along the back. Okay, a little bit of a break. Okay, back to the EMA. Now, let's see what happens. In fact, you could argue, we've touched a couple of times here. Could argue that may be a bit higher. Actually, I kind of like that. Touch here, touch here, touch here. We seem to be testing the top. Whether it'll hold or not, it may do. Interesting. It's looking like one of those bull trend days. Let's hope so, mate. It's definitely much easier to trade a trend. At least you know what trades you're looking for. Trouble is, sometimes lately it's just you can get a beautiful, nice steep trend going up most of the day, and very little in the way of setups. That's the frustrating thing. But I've come to the conclusion that 1 a day is my target at the moment. If I can get 1 2-point trade a day, I think it's pretty reasonable going. I think if you can get 1 good setup a day, might be an entry for me. We've pushed up. We've sort of daisy chaining up, aren't we? We seem to be sort of holding. In fact, okay, that might have put the kibosh on it. Let's have a look. It depends where you put this. That looks better. It's sitting nice there, and prices are being held there. So that's a leg and a leg. maybe now we're going to continue up. It would make sense where that's fallen. It is a second entry long, but risky. I think you've got to wait for it to push above there and then for the continuation. Fail breakout. Well, failed so far. It depends how well this forms and whether we do push above this. But if we had that, that would take us to there. What do the tops look like? Kind of nice, actually. So this is pure. So it's leg down, leg down. If we say we've gone from that bar there, this is a spike, and we've hit here. If that forms and pushes up from there, top fits nice. It's a possibility that that could be it. I mean, if we have a channel like this and you have two clear legs down, that's where you want to be looking for a trade. Maybe not there, but if we push above here, but that's just pure speculation at the moment. And by the way, that's dropping. It may not work. But it is possible we could come down a bit. I don't know, but you get what I'm saying. But the way that sort of dropped there, maybe we're not going to get some continuation. I mean, if this holds and pushes up strongly, then I don't know, maybe. But also, you've got to be careful here because you could get trapped. You jump in here and it may continue down. So leg down, leg down. So if we can push strongly. Chris Brooks, good morning from southern US. It's all right. I get a little blooming icon right over the end of the comment. South, is that southeast? Let's have a look. Oh, southeast US, yeah. Welcome, welcome. Always nice to have some new faces. Chris with a K. Excellent. Okay, so 10,000 tick chart is looking not too bad. We've pushed up. We've had a quite bearish bar there, which is triggered and pushed up. So if we can get above this, which is here, then we may have that hope of pushing up. Okay, so that's positive. Just here, found the light. Excellent. Good on you, mate. What do you trade? Do you trade max price action stuff, do you, or you something else? Okay, so I was hoping. Yes, okay, excellent. I was hoping we might get a little bit of a pullback here, or a sort of a higher low, but it may just do that. So it is likely that there's going to be some short stops above that, because we've pushed out of the top of here, and that is quite a nice bearish bar. So I'd say that is probably going to encourage maybe some shorts, thinking they're fading the range, but we came back in and pushed out reasonably strongly. We've broken above there now. Maybe the stops might be a bit higher, but so unfortunately we didn't get an entry. It just continued on up, but that's okay. It's a sign we may get some decent uptrend in today, so we'll see. Okay, let's see if we can make something of this. Okay, that kind of would make sense. How's this looking? All right, so far so good. Okay, so there is a possibility. We've touched here, touched here, touched here. It's fitting relatively nice at the backside. So if we continue up and then come down here, we can get a bounce maybe somewhere around here then. That might be an option then to get going. But we've pushed out, we've pulled back in, couple of legs in, and you can see we've had two legs down, pretty bullish bar, and it's just pushed up nice and strong. So hopefully Could be a penguin trade. See, penguin for me would be we've got a leg up or a channel up. We've made 2 attempts to go lower, and that's where it will be looking to go long once it pushed above the EMA. He trades the bigger picture rather than the 2 little legs down here, doesn't he? Okay, so 1 leg, 2 legs. Maybe we're going to bounce off this and push higher. We've already been out once and we've pulled back in and we pushed back out. So that tells me that this didn't hold. So maybe we are going to push higher. So 2 tries back to the range and failed, then goes higher. Yeah. So if we can get maybe a bullish bar here, I don't think that's too bad. Anybody looking for a long here? If this gets back here somewhere. The only thing that makes me slight concern is we've been close to the top here. We're at the top here, but that, yeah, second entry long, forget it. But we're close to the top here and pretty close there. And we haven't quite got as high as I'd like here, but we need to come down, really. I'd like it to push below there and sit nicely on there. Okay, so that's kind of a good start. So let's get an order ready submitted, just in case. We're at the bottom there. It's got a, that's it. Okay, so if this ends up bullish, it might not, but if it does, yeah, it's possible. I mean, if we get a decent setup, I kind of like that that's done that, because that might trigger, if it is coming down, that might trigger and then just drop. So if we started from here, we've touched in, we've touched here. So that's pretty much confirmed. And if you look at that, it is working in there. Now, the only bit that concerns me is this didn't get close to the top of this. And obviously that makes sense, doesn't it? But,
order cancelled.
It always, you know, I like it when it comes off the top like this, 2 legs down. It's a shame, really, that you may have taken that, but I'd have preferred the higher low, which we didn't get. We just pushed up, so that's a bit unfortunate, that. So, but it always concerns me when it doesn't quite get as high. It means to me it might be losing a bit of momentum, or so. Okay, so but it's unusual that we broke above here and then we had 2 legs back and it pushed quite strongly out. You thought it might hold here and continue up, but I don't know. There are mysterious powers at work. So actually, if I look at the 10,000 tick chart, this is almost like fade in the breakout, fade in the range. Let's have a look. There's a small bit of that there. Look. Something in the region of that, so it'd be interesting to see if this pushes back up, because it apart from that, it doesn't really give you much help there, does it? But there is a little bit of congestion there, and usually if we break out of this in the direction of the market, the trouble is at the moment it is still a little bit early to know which way we're going to go. Now it may turn into an uptrend, but it might not. It might just be a slightly higher. I mean, you could just adjust this and, it could be something like that. And if you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's as good as the top now, in my opinion. You go for the most touches, and that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So looking at that now, I'd say we're more ranging, really. And that's the thing with these. You get these channels in there, you think you're going to have a break and you have to make a new high. We see a lot of these channels just push it up and they get to the top and then just turn around and down they come. So we've got a leg down, maybe 2 legs up and continue down. Let's just draw that. I mean, you have got to be careful going short. You've just got to be aware that there is the possibility it could still go up. We could have a break from this and it may push up. I don't think it will, but it's possible. And that's the frustrating thing, is there's no guarantees. And it wouldn't be the first time I've got trapped trying to go shorty and the thing goes up. But we have spent a lot of time up there and we have struggled to get higher. So we may not. Okay, so we've got a leg down, 2 legs up. Now, if I'm going to take a trade like this short, it's damn well going to be closer than that. I got burned on a trade the other day doing that. Just not getting close. So we've had a push up. There is a second entry short there, but both those bars are way away from the EMA, so just too risky in my opinion. And not only that, you've only got a tick or two to the low. But it could be a leg and a leg. Quite likely it is. But they're just too far from the EMA, hence extra risk. Now, what I will say is there is a good old level a resistance there. Somewhere around about there, give or take a tick. That's probably... it could just be the midline, actually. A lot of that, if you look, you can see it bouncing there. A couple of times there. Bunch of times there. Around about there. So it may be around the midline, or it may be somewhere around there, something like that. But let's just call it obviously the midline. So let's see what happens here. Okay, possibility. Yeah, you can clearly see it there, can't you? We've got exactly the same there, exactly the same there, and obviously there's some support and resistance. You can see it reacting to that line. It's somewhere around the midline, might be a fraction lower than the midline, but you can see where it is. So whether it'll break through there or whether it'll bounce up, I mean, I'd say it may come back to the EMA a bit, but I'd say it's likely to go lower. We'll see. I mean, if we are in this range, then usually goes from top to bottom, so we'll see. You took that second entry short off the trend line, did you? Which one? That one there. Yeah, I've taken trades that before, and they trigger you, stop you out. But I like them closer than the EMA there. When you widen the channel, yeah. As we've only had a break, if we continue down, that's where I usually widen the channel. Yeah, so for me it was just a bit early. but I tend to avoid them now. I took something similar the other day away from the EMA and it triggered me. And not only that, you've got about a tick to the low. That's not to say it's not going to come down, but it just gives that a little bit of extra risk. Not sure yet. Okay, so are we gonna? You can. I'm starting noticing sometimes a lot of traps when you get this. I was watching one of Mac's video the other day, and a lot of the times people are jumping short and it'll backtrack, and vice versa. So let's see whether we continue on down. So that measured move's played out. So leg down, leg down. Let's see if we continue down. Maybe there's a spike in channel or something. Let's have a look. There is a little bit of support around here. You can see it there. You can see it there. You can see it there. In fact, I'll start putting these in because it does play a part. Somewhere around there. You can see it reacting there. You can see it there, a little bit there. But it has smashed straight through there. Yeah, there is a possibility there's a spike in channel. I think it's likely. And a lot of the times it'll go sideways up till it gets here in a decent sized bar, which will continue down. But there's nothing I can see really that would be of interest to go short in that. Okay, that kind of fits nice. So what's going to happen down here? Are we going to bounce up? Does look like we're getting a couple of legs there, doesn't it? A leg and a leg there, one leg down, another leg down, which should take us probably close to these lows. There was a leg and a leg there, but I'd say there's quite likely something there. So we may get down here somewhere, but we've got the official open here. So that may bounce. We'll see. Let's get rid of that. Okay, that to me is an overshoot. Touches there, fits quite nice there. So if we can get a couple of legs back to the EMA and get a short, we may trap some shorts for us to go long. I just wanted to get down here, which we have quite kind of nice actually. So if we can bounce up and get a second entry short off there, we may trap some shorts there and we can go long, because I would expect it to bounce off the bottom at some point. So some traders may take these, but I'm not a fan of picking bottoms. I'm not particularly good at it, and I tend to avoid it because there is a possibility of a bigger leg down there, so it may trap some and then mosey on down a bit lower. So it's hard to say at the moment, but 4,500, big round number. Certainly is, mate. There is some liquidity down there, not a huge amount, but they're around about 500 to 700 orders floating around here. So it'd be interesting to see what happens, but that's clearly an overshoot for me. Touched here, nice. Its touch is really nice in three places, and it works nice. It works nice there. So for me, that's an overshoot. Obviously, overshoots a lot of the time result in a reversal. What are you going to do at the bottom of a range? Most of the time, you'd reverse. So if we can get a second entry short, trap some shorts, and then maybe continue on up, which would be nice. Excuse me. Are we likely to get down there? Yeah, there is some. There is yesterday's lows, which was just a fraction above it. Interesting to see how long. In fact, there's not as many down there as you would think. I'm looking at Bookmap now and the picture's yellow. It's only showing around about, well, right at 4,500. It's showing 236 orders. There's 300 just above it and a couple of hundred just below it. So there is an area, but it's not as profound or highly liquid as I thought it might be. So leg. Let's see what happens here. Hopefully we can trap some shorts in here. Let me just check this. Let me just check I'm not missing something on this channel. Yeah, we touched here, which tells me this looks kind of nice. I kind of like the angle. That does look like an overshoot. It has gone a bit steeper. So, first entry. Hopefully, if we can get something bearish here, which triggers and pushes up. And then we may get a long then. So, looks like a leg there. So, there is a possibility we could just get up here and then it may come short. I don't know. But lately, I kind of like the trades I'm taking around here when we've had an overshoot, which is trapping shorts because there's one leg, two leg. If that becomes quite bearish, there's probably going to be some shorts in there, and that's a good time to then, jump on board that way back up. But I'm not going to just jump straight in. I'll have to think about this. So there's a leg and a leg by the looks of things. So let's see what happens. Let me just make sure we've got that in the right place. Okay, that kind of seems okay. That could come down a fraction. What's that one like? That's about right. There. Okay, so boom, we touched that nicely. So there's a leg and a leg. Now, if we can get something bearish, we may trigger some shorts in there. I'm not saying it's not going to come down, but because of the overshoot, I tend to avoid these. And I mean, we've been down pretty low. Touched here a bunch of times, touched here. So too far from the EMA for me to go long because I've been in trades like before. It triggers you and stops you out. And then what it does is it comes down here. It takes you out, comes down here, but maybe it's not going to, I don't know. And I'd like to have seen a short trade here to trap some traders. I mean, that triggered and pushed up, but it's not very bearish. It's certainly not in a bearish place, is it? There is a failure there, but that's a mistake in my opinion. It's too far away. I took a trade, I don't know if you remember, about a week ago, where I took a failure in a channel like this, and it failed. And someone messaged me, said, what I find, and Mac doesn't teach this, excuse me, whenever you take failures in a trade, that's a lot of time then where it can break and catch you out. So that makes kind of sense, that. And there is a failure there, but it didn't trigger. Now that is a failure that's triggered. Sorry. So let's try to go. There's the failure, isn't it? And it has triggered. So let's see what happens now. If it takes out that stop, that would make sense. In fact, I think that no, it's way past that, isn't it? It's all right. I thought that line there might be that measured leg, but it's not. So let's have a look. Okay, so far it's looking like it's pushing up. I just don't like these two. I mean, they're dojis. You don't get a more unstable doji. Obviously, dojis, they open and close at the same point, but that's right in the middle of each one of them. So I've heard Max say sometimes dojis like that can be a good sign that things are going to continue up, but I think basically because it's gone like that, we're looking for a break and then a push up and a slightly wider channel. Got to wait for the EMA really. Okay, so we've had this channel down. However you put it, it still looks like a leg and a leg, and we've bounced off the bottom, so I think it's regardless about the channel. But if the channel is valid, which it doesn't look terrible, it fits nice there. We've had a bit of an overshoot. It just dropped quickly, and we've bounced up here. So I'm looking for a break and maybe a couple of legs and then a push up. I'm just going to get rid of this because it's in the way a bit. Okay, so we've pushed up. We've had a couple of pushes up. If we can get something to bounce and then maybe a higher low to continue up, that will give us a bigger channel. And looking at the 10,000 tick chart, we've had a leg up, and this looks like a pullback, and we may get another leg up, which would take us back to the EMA on the 10,000 tick chart. So it does seem to be around about the bottom here, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Heading off to bed, insanely profitable. Good for you, mate. I got halfway through the evals. I picked up today. Nice, and the trade week. Cheers all. Yeah, good for you, mate. Come on, get your head down, bud. Back here again on Monday. Good for you. Nice to have a solid end to the week. Always nice to have a green end to the week. Okay, so we've had a leg up. Be nice to get one leg, two legs, and then a higher low to give us another leg up here. That would be lovely. So there's our first leg. That looks like to me. So I'm going to pop mine there and see what happens. It may just continue to drop, but who knows? Okay, so we've got a push up. We've made one attempt to go lower. Nice to get another leg or a higher low or something. But that's dropped and then pushed up quite strongly. Okay, so we've got a leg up here, push down. That may be a lower high for the shorts. I thought if we can get a lower high there, it may trigger some shorts to have a go. Okay, we need a higher low now, don't we, really? I'm not thinking about going short. I'm not saying it's not going to go short. Excuse me, but because of that overshoot, that's telling me, and I think we've bounced from here, so it'd be nice to trap some shorts there. It'd be nice. Looking for the lower high to make the new low of the channel. See, I'm not, mate. That channel to me, it touched nice there, touched nice there, touched nice there, touched a bunch of times there, touched there, touched there, touched there. For me, that's an overshoot. And we're clearly ranging, so an overshoot that bounces off the bottom for me is going higher. There is a higher low there.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
It's a little bit more risk than I wanted. We'll see what happens. What am I risking? 4, 5, 6, 7, or 3.75 points. More than I wanted. More than I wanted. So it's a second entry long, leg and a leg, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Order filled.
Beautiful. That's what I like to see. Yeah, so I'm just trying to think where we would have trapped some shorts there. Probably not, but we got a leg up. Second entry long, one push down, but second entry long, stroke higher low, whatever you want to call it. But 2.25 points. It looks like we're having a leg and another leg, which should take us somewhere around about the midlight. But that's relatively straightforward there. Because of the overshoot for me, I doubt we're coming back, and there was nothing that looked. There was a bit of a pull down there, but then we had that push stronger, and then we had the high low. So I've done that. So let's have a look. It is a second entry long because that's broke below there, but it's also a higher low. So 2.25 points. So plus 2.25 points. Excellent. I'd expect there, and funnily enough, boom, look at that, right to the nearest touch. In fact, that's a little bit lower, around about there, that's around about there. Okay, measured leg up, break, high, low. I'm not too concerned about getting out before the highs. For me, it's a leg up, and we have come off the bottom. Now, it depends how you draw this. I did and R whether it may be something like that. It's possible. But usually we hear Max say you go off those first two swings. Well, if we go off those first two swings, we're looking at something like that, which would still suggest we've got an overshoot. So for me, the range is more important. A lot of times we don't even, we get a channel down there. We didn't have a break in a new low. We just rocketed straight up. And a lot of times we don't. It just turns at the top. It depends where it breaks. It broke here and we had a new high, but that looks like a channel there with sort of two legs. Fits really nice. We just bounce straight up. So a lot of times we don't even get there, but for me, touches here. It looks like a spike and channel. Touch once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you call them. But importantly as well, for me, we touched 3 or 4 times beautifully on there, and then we had that quick strong drop, and then we bounced. So overshoots a lot of times can result in reversals, and a lot of time you'll get a second entry short here, which won't be that great. People might take that trade and then it pushes above and stops them out, and I tend to get in more of those trades that stop out shorts. So we'll see. So there may be a channel growing up there, possibly too high to go along there. It may be there anyway, but we'll see. What time is it? we been going for now? An hour or so. In fact, folks, do you know what? I'm going to knock it on the head. I'm going to have an early day today. I'm up a nice trade, and I'm quite happy keeping it at that. Nice trade there. Push up, leg down, high or low. Nice, that is. Beautiful for a 2 legs up. So I'm going to knock it on the head there, actually. I'm going to have an early day. So the only reason is my wife's off Friday, so I might go out and have a little bit of light lunch with her or something like that. Lance, talking about the same account. I know when you blow up a PA account, it turns to evaluation again. You pass the evaluation account. Do you have to pay 85%? Where did I go? When you blow up the pay, it turns to evaluation again. You pass the evaluation account. Do you have to pay? Yeah, you've got 2 options there, bud. You can pay the monthly, the $85, sorry, or you could pay a one-off fee. On the $50,000 account, it's $140. So you've got 2 options: $85 a month, or a one-off payment of $140. So if you think you can hold a PA account for longer than 30 days, you're better off paying the $140. But if you are struggling to keep PAs at the moment, and I've done my fair share of PAs, I'm holding them better now. But if you are struggling, I would tend to pay the $85. But yeah, when you fail a PA account, that account is null and void. And then if you want a PA account, you've got to start again with another valuation. So I hope I've answered your questions there, bud. So anyway, folks, as I was saying, I'm gonna finish early today. I'm gonna take the afternoon off. It's not often I trade for an hour. I'm usually around about the 4 hours a day. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Enjoy your weekend too. So I appreciate all your comments. I think I'm up about $500 per account per week. So $5,000. That's about $2,500 a week. I did get another an evaluation account, and after that one trade, it's up $2,775. So one more trade with 3 points that will pass that one. That will eventually then in another week give me 6 PA accounts. So the plan by the end of the year is to try and get to 10, and then over the next year maybe up to 20. We'll see. So yeah, it's not been a bad week actually. I'm up about 3 trades on the week, which is around about $600 per account. So in the grand scheme of things, it's been a tough week, really. There hasn't been a great deal of volume. As we know, a lot of institutional traders are on their holes now, which is why volume's a little bit low, and the setups, hopefully, there's less setups. But yeah, sometimes you get a nice start to the day, and on that's 5 accounts, taking away fees, that's about $1,100, $1,200 on my PA account. So I'm going to count myself. I've had a nice start, and it's not been a bad week, and I want to end it on a good note. So I'm going to finish early. I'm going to take my wife out for lunch, and I may have a couple of single malts while I'm there. So I appreciate your comments, all of you. I really do. Enjoy this 90% off. I do get a kickback from it, so it does help me to be able to trade full time with a little bit of work I do at the weekends. So I do appreciate every person that does use my code. It doesn't cost you anything extra. That's the only reason I'll have it. I wouldn't want anybody paying any more. Just to be able to use something of mine. But I do appreciate everybody, and I had a really good month this month. So thanks for everybody that's used my code now and in the future. So have a great weekend. I appreciate all your comments. We've got a nice little community here, and hopefully you guys help me, and hopefully I help you. And now we've got this faster internet speed, we can talk more real time about trades. So have a great weekend. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all your comments. So have a great weekend with yourselves and your family. Stay safe, and we'll be back here again on Monday, and hopefully have a nice week. So take care.